Hello and welcome back to another Reality Check VR video. That's right, this is the ultimate ComfyUI guide at the moment with image-to-image refine, upscaling, sharpening, and even LoRa's are built in there as well. So we've got all these little additions and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. I spent the entire night getting it working in the way that I would want it working for my own workflow. So hopefully it's something that you can use advantageous to yourself. And if not, you can even adapt and use it or change it if you need to in any kind of way. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in, and we're going to go ahead and see exactly what I'm talking about right now, because it's a beauty. It's a masterpiece. That's right. No, it's kind of messy, and you can certainly move these things around as you desire, but I put it in a way that I felt was the easiest for me at the moment for my, like I said, for my workflow. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding ComfyUI to not only be fast, highly effective, but fun. The node-based style is really something that I'm digging, even though I find A1111 to be more useful for certain things, ControlNet especially, and other things like Dream Booth. Liking ComfyUI so far with what it has, and I want to learn how to do more with it. So as I continue to learn, I'm going to make more and more tutorials, and hopefully you guys can learn some more with me. But all right, so right here in front of us, as you can see, we have down here on the bottom, we have the image-to-image spot. This is where you can drag and drop any of your images. But actually, we even have a text-to-image spot over here. So if you want to do the text-to-image, that will work as well. Let me go ahead and move my camera over there. So what we do is we have, right now it's set up initially for image to image, but I'll show you how to move it to text to image. And in order to get all this working, we have a few little configurations to get working, and I'll show you guys exactly how to do that. Right now, what you have on this page is you put the image to image in here. It will then give you your base image over here on the right. Above it, it will then give you a refined image, and then on the right, it's going to give you a sharpened and upscaled image. And that's it. So, and I'm amazed with how good this looks. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? This right here from SDXL 1.0, it's beautiful. I mean, you can even zoom right in and you can see some of those textures, which obviously some look better than others, but that's phenomenal right there. The fact that we can kind of get this clarity right here from a very quick image. It took me about, for my computer using an old graphics card, it took me about 1.5 minutes or maybe a minute to render this. And that was after you render it once, it just goes faster and faster at that point. And one thing I really like about ComfyUI is the fact that if you are doing something like keeping the same seed and you're just changing something like for example, if I'm just changing the upscale and I keep everything else the same, every time I hit that Q button, it doesn't have to do everything else over again. Sometimes it'll only take 4 or 5 seconds to redo those last changes. And then the upscale image will sometimes only take a few seconds, literally 1, 2, 3 seconds as opposed to a minute or two. So I find this program to be very, very fast. But as I said, there are a few configurations to get going, so let's go ahead and get those. And just to show you, right here, this is where I started. This is the first image I created, and I actually created this in A1111 Stable Diffusion yesterday, and then I brought it over into SDXL, and I was able to get images like this, from this image to image here over in ComfyUI to get images like this. Which are just astounding. So I mean, the level of detail right there that you can see in this character, the kind of stylization that we've got going on here. Obviously, it's very artistic. It doesn't look real, but it's just so cool at what we're able to achieve very quickly. And I believe this one was kind of a denoise of 0.5, to get something like this, which was just, like I said, just amazing. So all right, let's go ahead and get our configurations going. The one thing that you're going to want to go ahead and get for your ComfyUI is this thing called Derfuu, and that is the ComfyUI Derfuu Math and Modded Nodes. And the reason is because my configuration, one thing that we do is when we're using image to image, we don't want to have to do any math. And the one thing about Derfuu is it does it for you. So all you have to do is you just go right here and you click this download button. And once it downloads, it's going to go into your download folder. Let me go ahead and take a look at that right here. So here we have that. And all you do is you need to take this and add it over into your ComfyUI folder into where it says custom nodes. And right here you can see I've got it right in the custom nodes folder has the ComfyUI, Derfuu ComfyUI modded nodes. So Once you just drag and drop it right in there, you might need to restart the program. And after you do that, it will be able to work. So make sure you get this file right here. And that will be the one thing that you need to make sure this configuration is going to work on your computer. Okay, and while you're in the ComfyUI folder, there's one other thing that we can do, and that is get all of our models to sync up. If you already have them downloaded for, let's say, A1111 or any other program that uses Stable Diffusion type checkpoint models, you can actually use them without having to double them up, in different folders. And all you have to do is go into your ComfyUI folder. You should already in here have a file that says extra model paths.yaml.example. If you do not have this file right here, don't worry. It should have downloaded, but if it didn't, if you go right over here to the GitHub and you scroll down, you'll see ComfyUI. Not only is it right here, and you can download it right there, but if you go down here to the config file spot and you click on that, it'll actually give you the ability to just go over here, and right here you'll just click the download button, and then you'll have the download that file right there. All right, and for those of you who do want to change your model's path, you need to right-click this file right here and click Open With, go into your notepad and click OK, and once it opens up, you're going to see right here on the top it says your base path. All you have to do is change the base path to where yours is installed, A111, it should have one more one in there, base path, and then right here. So that spot is where we're going to have to replace the information. And so if I go into my A1 master, down here is Stable Diffusion, and I can either go up here into the title bar and click Control C and get it that way, or I can go back. I can actually shift right click and hit copy as path. Either way, I go over here and I'm just going to paste it. I'm going to get rid of the parentheses, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, and now that's it. Because I've got that working in there, it's going to automatically pull my models and things from that other folder and get them exactly where I need them to be. So perfect. Now that we have the Derfuu installed, these modded nodes installed, we can go right over to our area. Of course, all of the pictures that I'm going to be showing you guys are going to be in the description, and all you have to do is actually drag and drop these pictures into this area. So let's go ahead and clear everything up real quick. I'm going to go ahead and hit clear. Yeah, clear it all up. So if we go into the ComfyUI GitHub, we can see that they've got a spot here that says ComfyUI examples. And if I click on that, they have all kinds of crazy things. And when I say crazy things, I mean crazy things. The ComfyUI basic tutorial. And I thought, hey, I should get the basic tutorial right. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Or a kid in the class and your teacher. Yeah, so you go through all the Stable Diffusion information. And they show you a bunch of tutorials. Of course, my camera's in the way. And they show you screens like this, which is great because they give you examples of how to basically build the things themselves. But you don't need to look right in there. For example, I wanted to do image to image, so I clicked here on image to image, and very simply it shows you how to do an image to image. And if you just zoom that up, you can get it really close there. And you can start to see the kinds of things that you would need. You need to load a checkpoint, you need to have a clip, you need to have a K-sampler, you need to have a decode, and then you need to have a spot where the image pops out. You also need to be able to load the image. So, all right, we've got the building blocks right there. Not bad, right? All right, it looks pretty good. Okay, I totally forgot that I made these ones, but yeah, so I was testing, and as you can see, it goes from certain styles to getting more and more similar, to completely different when you change the denoise, to almost the same when you put the denoise back to a closer strength. Oh yeah, some people mentioned this in chat last time as well, but the SDXL spot right here, they have two images, and if you actually just copy these images or save these images to your hard drive, you can just drag and drop them into here. Like for example, here's the one bottle. If I drag and drop it, we instantly have a refiner model with the ability to refine the prompt separately from the base prompt. Nice, right? And I actually used this for inspiration with how to do my step control. So it was very nice to be able to see this one. And if I drag the other one in here, you can see it's just a little bit different with the other bottle. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and drag my first creation of the day from scratch. And that was this one right here. And what this is this is just a basic spot where we can take a prompt, a beautiful portrait of a beautiful shiny gold AI robot. And then with what we have on this one is this one does not have a refiner. This one just has a spot where you can click the denoise, and then you can just queue it. So let's go ahead and give this one a try. That is one good-looking result. Even without the refined result, this image looks stunning. I mean, it looks really, really good. So this workflow just by itself, for speed and efficiency, and just for what it is, I really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the description as one of the main workflow results. And then, as I said, we're going to go ahead and look at what a few of these other ones look like as well. Oh, you can see I was testing some stuff. When I start dragging these other pictures in, you can see how my workflow changed a lot over time. Yeah, see, I started changing it quite a bit. Alright, I can tell I'm getting a little too tired, so I need to hurry up and finish this video, and then later I can make a more in-depth explanation for anybody who wants, and I'll use all the comments in this video to help me know exactly what I should put in that more in-depth video, and I'll put that out right away as soon as possible. Also, be sure to check out, I've got a Patreon link in the bottom. I'm just now starting my channel back up, and I want to try to get things going as quickly as possible. The more support I get, the more time I can put into these videos, so I've obviously really appreciate anybody who wants to help support the channel. Anyways, spiel over. Let's go ahead and show you guys exactly what we've got going right in here so that you guys can understand it as best as possible. Over here in these purple little boxes on the left, we have obviously the best sizes as is in that other node. I just copy and pasted this over. And then down here, I put, if you want to change the work styles, you can do that right here. To have image to image, make sure the latent from the VA encode is set to latent image. Up here, VA encode, latent is set to latent image. See, that's what it's talking about, these two things right there. And then if you want to do text to image, make sure that latent from text to image is set to latent image. So okay, text to image, if I take this latent and I put it on there, well, now it's a text to image. Simple as that, and I can create the height and width right there. And then down here it says, for image to image, start steps will determine the denoise strength. And this is kind of the important thing right here. What we have is over here the start steps. When you are doing an image to image in ComfyUI, you want to make sure you tell it how close to the image do you want it to go. You know, do you want it to keep 20% of the image, 10% of the image, you know, 1% of the image, or do you want to keep 99% of the image, right? You know, so how we do that value is right down here, and that's going to be with the overall amount of steps and then divided by that value, or actually more so that value divided by the overall steps, and that's going to then give you your denoise. So for example, if you have 10 steps with a total of 20 steps overall, that's the same as 0.5 denoise, right? Also, starting at 5 steps with a total of 20 steps is the same as 0.75 denoise. And then alternatively, starting at 15 steps out of 20 steps is the same as 0.25 denoise. The last little bit down here is all the variables that you can change to make different kinds of pictures. We have the base checkpoint and the refiner checkpoint, which are right here. The base checkpoint and the refiner checkpoint are listed right in these spots. And as we said before, you can actually see how all the different models show up here because we changed that configuration file earlier. If I go back down here, we have the upscale model. Down over here, we do actually have the ability to change the upscale model, right? Then we have the positive prompt and negative prompt, which is pretty simple, goes without saying. Positive prompt, negative prompt right there. It says we have the LoRa strength. Over here, you can choose your LoRa and your LoRa strength. Right now, I have the LoRa strength at 0.5, so it's about half strength. And then we have our steps, CFG, and our sampler. And right here, we can see we've got our steps, our CFG, and our sampler. And we've got those for not just the base, but the refiner image as well. So we've got it for both of them. Then you have your seed, which obviously is going to be randomized. If you want it to stay fixed, you just go in here and you click fixed, right? Lastly, initial size, upscale size. You can actually choose that. Right now it's just at 4 times. And then sharpen amount. If you want to change your sharpen amount, you go in here and you can change your sharpen radius, your sigma and your alpha. Right now they're both set to 0.5. And then your blend amount. What it does is it creates a sharpened image, and then it has the original image that's upscaled. And it takes those 2 images and it blends them together. And you can tell how much you blend it and how. Right now they're blended at 0.5%, or at half, and then they are doing a normal blend as opposed to a multiply screen overlay or light. So that's how those are working. Okay, well, as you can see, we set it to text to image earlier, and because we set it to text to image, and we had this prompt, a beautiful futuristic shiny metal AI robot, it created a beautiful AI robot. And this right here is the refined image. And then over here we even have a really sharpened image, which actually looks much worse. So in this case, when things are small like that, sometimes the sharpening does not look great, which is why we have the different options available. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this image right here, the refined one, and we're going to put that over here in our image to image. And we're just going to drag and drop that over there. And now that it's there, I'm going to go ahead and put this back to image by just dragging this latent over to latent. Simple as that. It's a one click to do it. And then what I do is I'm going to go here into the prompt, and I'm going to actually change the prompt now to, let's say, okay, so I'm going to put a photo of Elvis Presley standing at Madison Square Garden, live concert, realistic. I'm not going to go into any more. And then the negative prompt, we've got ugly, deformed. And then, of course, we've got our LoRa set up. We're going to keep that at 0.5. We're going to keep all this other stuff pretty much the same. I don't think there's any need to change anything right now. Let's say the start steps. Should we keep this at 0.5? One thing I didn't mention is, as you can see, it says end at step 20. We do have actually 25 steps total, and the reason is because wherever you're going to put end steps, like for example, 20 steps are going to be done on the base model, and then those last 5 will be done on the refiner model. So if I change this steps right here to a higher number, let's say 30 or 40, and then I keep this at 20, well, if it's 40, then there would be 20 for the base model and 20 for the refined model. Again, alternatively, if I put this to 21, then there would be 20 on the base model and just 1 on the refined model as far as the steps. And obviously where we start the steps is going to be how closely it's going to resemble our original image. If we take if we wait a long time, if we wait till step 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, if we wait that long, the base image is going to look a lot like our original image. If we chop it up or if we start changing it right at the beginning, alternatively it's going to change exactly the other way. So right now I'm going to keep this actually at 25. And I'm going to put this start step value, I'm actually going to change this down here to 4. I'm going to give it a lot more room. So as you can see right here, if there's, as far as the base model is concerned, on the base model we have 20 steps. Even though up here it says 25 steps, the base model is only doing 20 steps. So for the base models, as far as it's concerned, we're going to be starting 4 steps in. That gives us 16 steps where we're not even using the original image, or we're just going to be using our freedom, right? We have to think about it like that. So the more steps you give it with freedom, 16 steps of freedom right now, we're going to go ahead and see a different image. So I'm going to go ahead and click Q prompt, and let's see what this makes for us. All right, there we go. So as you can see, we've got the image to image working really, really well. The original with came from a text to image here in SDXL. And then right over there we have the output for the original base. Above that, the refined, which gets a little bit more bedazzled. And then over here, a little bit sharpened. And then of course, if you wanted to do more touch-ups, you could just do some in-painting there on the face, make it even more high definition if you feel. I did one other version with this guy right here, and it turned out to be like that. So I actually wanted to make it a little different, but I still actually kind of like the way this one is even stylized a bit, even though the face isn't there at all. This looks very, very cool. And there's just a lot that can be done with this. So hopefully I can inspire you guys to start playing with this and make even better workflows, and then share them back with me in the comments, so that way I can learn from them and then use them myself. But I'm going to continue to make more and more of these, so stay tuned on the channel. Also be sure to jump on if you can, support, and I'm going to be putting more videos, tutorials, and special files in there for anybody who wants to help support the channel. And lastly, the things that I think are probably some of the coolest ones are these little AI robots, as far as just how well they look with some of the simplest prompts that I've been putting in there. I just wanted to share some of these guys with you. What this is right here is this is actually without the LoRa, and then when I added the LoRa to it, it changed more like this. So this is no LoRa, and then LoRa, and then this is with this right here is like 50% LoRa, and then I started changing around the samplers, and you can see just how completely different they really changed to be. And with these different ones, I just had so much fun seeing the different intricacies and how much they could change based off of the denoise level. So that really is the thing that you're going to want to play with a lot. And when I say the denoise level, I'm talking about this start steps value right here. I usually keep it myself right around the 4 to 10 value. If I want to make it very similar to the same thing, I'll put it up to 15, but I usually don't go past 4 to 15 even. That's kind of the range that I use. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it at 8 just for results like this, where you can see an image. It stays, you've got the same feet placement for the most part. The hand completely changed from where it was at. But for the most part, you've got the same structure of the scene, even though there is no background in there. But I did make sure in the prompt to say concert. So yeah, that's just one of those things. We're going to go ahead and keep learning right here. But as I said, as you guys continue to learn and find out more things, please feel free to share them with me in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and keep updating you guys as much as I can. Oh yeah, I also did the UFO one where I made UFOs last time. I took one image and did that. Did a whole bunch of different cool stylization. The quality is pretty good on these things. So almost too good that it takes a long time to load. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there, and I hope you guys got some value from this right here. I'm going to go ahead and keep playing with this and learning what I can, and please feel free to send me any information that you can to help me continue my growth as well. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.